Good evening, Lisa. Lisa, where are you? Are you lost in the darkness?
What are you doing with the light turned off?
What?
I said, what are you doing with the light turned off?
I'm being silly.
Okay.
Why am I being silly?
Because you just watched the Addams Family?
Ah! Gotta hold it up. What have we got for Halloween?
Which is tomorrow, but this will be out tomorrow, so...
Well, when you watch it, it'll be Halloween.
Yes.
So, what have we watched?
We've watched...
I'm going to sit up, because I got the camera angle a bit weird.
Okay.
Episode 1 of the Addams Family.
Yes.
Which is, he says, looking in his thing, the Addams Family goes to school. When Gomez and Morticia keep Wednesday and Pugsley home from school, the truant officer plays a visit with predictably ghastly results.
Okay.
Is that accurate, do you think?
Not really.
It's not much to do with it.
No.
It's sort of where it starts, isn't
Yes.
it? Yeah.
Yes.
So, can't get it in now. Yes, we're going to do the Addams Family on video, but we're also going to do a fuller piece on the podcast,
Yes.
aren't we?
With more episodes included.
Yes.
A range of episodes.
And we're also going to do the Munsters
Yeah.
as well.
Mm-hmm.
And in both cases, we're going to do the original series
Mm.
and not talk very much about later incarnations. I don't
But
think.
I have just purchased today.
Purchased
the first Addams Family film, which is actually quite good.
Okay.
Yeah, I know you've never seen it, but it stands up well to the television series.
All right. Okay.
And I've also ordered the second Addams Family film.
Yeah.
Where you get baby Pubert,
Yes.
who's got a little moustache.
Yeah. I don't
Which
know
is
how that
really
works.
weird. And I've also got Here Come the Munsters,
Okay.
which is a sort of 80s update. And we watched a documentary yesterday on the Munsters, and there was a clip of it.
Yeah.
And the actor that was playing Herman was pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, so
But on
it's
with,
90. It might be 90s actually.
on with
but
what we saw tonight now. Yeah, opening sort of scene is the postman
yes.
coming, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then the because it's the American mailbox thing, isn't
Yes.
it? We don't have mailboxes here, do we?
In this country, your mail. Some people do.
Yeah.
Mounted on the wall, but in America, in England, your mail goes through your letterbox.
Yeah. But you see them in like the Charlie Brown cartoons
Yes,
and things
yeah.
like that.
And
So-
also the newspapers go in there as well, don't
Oh,
they?
right,
People
okay.
people put their newspapers in.
Because you get them in like sort of video games like Fallout.
All right, okay.
You like open the mailbox and there might be something in there. So,
Okay.
But yeah, the hand comes out.
Thing.
Now this is Thing. Now, I want to talk about Thing for a few
Okay.
minutes because in the films, Thing is established as simply a severed hand that runs about.
Yes.
When I first watched the Addams Family,
Mm.
and this would have been sort of early 80s on Channel 4,
Mhm.
because they showed the Addams Family and they showed the Munsters,
Right.
sort of after Countdown, I seem to
right, yeah.
remember. So it was when I come home from school, so it was
Mhm.
quite good. I always assumed that Thing wasn't a disembodied hand.
Mm.
I assumed Thing was this strange creature
Mhm.
that lived in all like the pipework of the house.
Okay.
So he had like outlets. So he wasn't one hand. He was a creature that had like sort of 7 or 8 hands
Right.
in different parts of the house. So there's a bit of Thing in the mailbox.
Yeah.
So the bit of Thing in the mailbox will take the mail, then pass it to like the central bit of Thing, who will then distribute it to another hand. So I imagined he was like this weird octopus
Your hands.
thing. Because when the sort of truant inspector's in the house, at one point he sort of goes to stand up and Thing reaches out, and it's a full
It's an
arm, isn't
yes.
it? Yeah.
Yes.
So you have to ask, what's it attached to?
Mhm.
Yeah. So that's just what I assumed the Thing was.
Yeah, I mean, I think in the films the reason they make it just the hand is because they can do that.
Yeah.
Because obviously in the 60s,
Yeah.
there's no real way of doing that, is there? But in sort of late 80s, early 90s, whenever it was made, you've got more sort of special effects, so you can just do the hand.
Yeah.
So and also of course Doctor Who riffs on that.
Yeah.
In Flatline.
Oh, and
yeah, because
the tiny TARDIS.
When the TARDIS falls on the rail track, the Doctor moves it with his hand. we did a picture of that once because we've got a sort of quite big model TARDIS, and I put my hand behind it, so it looked like my hand was coming out of the TARDIS. So.
But I mean, this is the first episode, so it has to establish the family. So you follow the truant officer into the house, don't you? Yeah. So, and you said you like the way Wednesday gets his by the hand. And
it's a real kid thing. It's a thing that kids sort of do. If you talk to them and they kind of like you, they'll take your hand and take you to and show you things. Yeah. Like show you their toys and stuff. Obviously, she doesn't. Well, he does see one of her toys, but she doesn't do that. She just sort of takes him through the house and he's sort of boggling at all the weird things that are inside.
But I love the decor of the house, and I know we've sort of said it as a joke, but I'd love to live there. I really would. Because his reaction is sort of meant to be horrified by it, but I'm looking at it and going, "Oh, that's really nice." That's because that painting of what was it? It's a giraffe in a suit, isn't it?
Suit, yes.
And what's the line? That used to be a friend of my father's.
Of my daddy.
My dad. Yeah. And you wonder what on earth was all that about? Yes. Yeah. Because even in this one, you get Morticia making the sort of jumper thing because. You always hear about their relatives that you never see. Yeah. And it's got 3 arms, and it's for cousin Aymar. And Gomez is perplexed by this jumper because it's got a turtleneck.
Yeah, didn't cousin Aymar was her?
And that's the sort of humour that really appeals to me. So it's strange, but as you said, they're not a nasty family.
No,
that's the thing. They're
very welcoming.
Yeah, they're friendly, and people's reaction to them seems very unfair to me.
Yes.
I think I'd get on well with them.
Well, it's very much. I mean, obviously, we're going to do a video tomorrow looking at the first episode of Munsters. Yeah. And I think it's a very similar thing with the Munsters that. They're all very friendly and happy, and they all love each other. But because of the way they look, they're excluded from society.
Yeah, people are scared of them.
Which is sort of telling you something, really.
Well, yes, that there is, and again, we'll sort of cover it more in the podcast. There is definitely a sort of metaphor going on here, isn't there? Because you got me some of the books of the drawings, didn't you?
It's here somewhere in the house.
And somewhere in the house, and there's 2 or 3 of the collections of the cartoons, isn't it? And the TV series takes its inspiration from those, but does its own thing. Yeah. It has to. So you've and I suppose you have to think, how does this family exist in the wider community? Because the whole point about this episode is that the kids get sent to school, and they've never been to school. No. So you do wonder what's happened up to this point.
Yeah, but they've had homeschooling, haven't they? So. Yeah. I mean, I think you do get homeschooling.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They get homeschooling in this country. Yeah.
But it just seems to be that this week the schools decided they should go to school. And then... I forget whether they do go to school again after that. We're going to have to see. I get the feeling that they don't, because you don't seem to see them going to school very much. Here. Martha's here. Hello, Martha. Are you a kitty cat? Yes. You don't get the lion in this episode. Like you get the lion in the title sequence, but you don't. Yes. You don't see it.
Well, I'm assuming they probably couldn't film with a lion that much.
No, there's only about 2 or 3 shots of it
you have to sort of do
that they keep using.
Yeah, you have to keep using the same shots because it's probably not safe to have the lion in the studio.
No, but I'll ask you, when's the first time you came across the Addams Family?
Well, I came across the Addams Family in the films. Yeah.
So did you go and see them, or
no? I think I saw them on television. I don't think I went to see them. I think actually, because I noticed, because if you've not yet seen it on our Facebook or Twitter feed, we've put a poll up about the Addams Family and the Munsters, and I noticed that Russell's voted in it. My nephew Russell, And I think I know who he's voted for, because I think he's probably voted for the Addams Family.
Okay, all right.
Because I think he really likes the films.
Yeah, all right.
So, I mean, the films, obviously, we'll probably talk about the films a bit on the podcast, not too much here, but they do have a great cast.
Yeah.
I mean, when you've got Christopher Lloyd playing Fester, you're not going to go too wrong, so...
Okay. We shall see. But, yeah, I mean, I've seen... There are a couple of colour photos knocking around of the set, and I think it's all like pink and yellow. It looks very weird. I'll see if I can find the pictures again later.
Is that so it looks good on black and white television?
Yeah.
Is it the equivalent to having the TARDIS in green? TARDIS console in the green?
I suppose so, but you've got things like, you've got the sort of polar bear rug, which growls. I don't know how that's supposed to work. You've got the other bear, but then the bear that's behind the chair does remind me of Steptoe and Son. Yeah. It's weird, isn't it? That in some ways, some of the things in this set wouldn't be out of place.
No, in stuff over here.
In Steptoe. So sort of it creates an impression of a weird room, I suppose, because I suppose the weirdest one is the fish with the foot in it.
The foot, well, it's leg. It's a leg.
It's a leg and a foot.
Leg and a foot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that because is that like a big pike or something?
Yeah, I don't know quite what it is. Or is it a swordfish or something?
Maybe swordfish.
I don't know. I think
you don't get swordfish in this country. So.
I think that might be a relative. I'm not sure.
All right. Okay.
Because there's later ones where you sort of explore the family tree a bit more. You've got Cousin It, who turns up later. He's just all hair with a hat on.
Yes.
And
glasses.
Yeah, and then who else is there? I think Carolyn Jones plays her own sister.
Yes,
I think.
I looked at those episodes, and it does appear to be Carolyn Jones in a blonde wig, or a white wig. Yeah. You can't tell in black and white.
Well, no, it's underdone. But yeah, so it's just interesting that they do sort of expand it a bit as the series goes along.
Because didn't you say Margaret Hamilton's in it as well?
Yeah, the Wicked Witch of the West from The Wizard of Oz. Yeah, I think that's one where they sort of, is it the family tree one or their first meeting or something? I'm not sure. Can't remember. Need to look it up. But yes, we'll do the research before we do the article, obviously. But what do you think of that as a sort of introductory episode?
I quite like it. I like Gomez.
Yeah.
Because he's tremendously enthusiastic about everything he does.
Yeah.
You know. So I do have one question though. Because in the films, Fester is his brother.
Right.
But Morticia calls him Uncle Fester.
I think he's her uncle.
He's her uncle, right?
I think so.
Because in the films they made him Gomez's
I might be wrong,
brother,
and we'll
I think.
We'll
That's
check.
an important plot point in the first film.
Yeah. Right, okay. But I will look that up because we have got some research material arriving, haven't we?
Yes.
Yeah. We have got one book upstairs.
We have, yes.
But that's a Munsters book with just a chapter or so on the Addams Family.
Okay.
So
we need a Munsters book as well.
I don't think we've actually got a full Addams Family book in the house at the moment. Not to my knowledge, anyway.
That doesn't mean there's not one.
But yeah, I think it's a series that I'm very fond of, because when I did my sort of fiction fanzine, I did the Addams Family.
Yes.
And I find they're quite... Some characters I find I can write for fairly easily, and I could write for them quite easily. So it clearly shows I'm in some way on their wavelength, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That I can sort of work out how they think, and yeah, they are a little perplexed by sort of wider society, I think, and I can identify with that because, you know, what some people regard as normal utterly baffles me. So maybe there's a bit of that going on with me and them, I think. But so looking forward to doing the full article, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. Anything else to say, or shall we?
No.
Wish everybody a good night or a good morning, depending on.
Happy Halloween.
Yeah. Well, I've got to put it up yet, but I'm sure I will. Okay, we'll say good night then, and don't worry, I won't turn the lights off. Bye-bye.
Bye.